Good afternoon, everyone, and Merry Christmas. This is Jerry Rand. Welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for December 25, 2023. A little after 3:15 p.m. Eastern. Let go of the idea that you are not aware of yourself as the ever-present, changeless, inexpressible reality. We are the ones responsible for creating the illusory experience that we are disconnected. We're not. We're one ocean. All drops in that ocean completely. But we perceive the illusion as being real. Even the wonderful illusion of separation is needed for us, so as later we can create an experience of unification. When we accept our deepest illusions, hardest feelings, and most challenging pools of separation consciousness that we are swimming in, we can one day relax and float downstream, merging back into the great ocean. No matter what we do, how we do it, we are always connected with one omnipresent self. We are this single God source that is weaving its way through everything and everyone. It's just that the mind gets in the way and wants something it wants to be special, loved, appreciated, and accepted by this world. Most people do not believe this in their heart, and thus unknowingly cling to the known, trying to heal, liberate, and enlighten themselves through holding to certain thoughts and ways of thinking about this life. When the mind becomes narrowed down any one path for too long, it becomes fixated and tight like a closed book and cannot receive the new insights and abundance it could grow into. The most enlightening truth we can handle is the one that greatly increases our power, wisdom, inner peace, and manifesting ability. As we evolve closer to the exotic universal truth of who and what we really are, this universe bestows greater gifts and more beautiful manifestations for us to accept and enjoy. The tricky part is that many of us tend to hold tight onto ideas of the past and the future. What we think we know feels comforting, especially when met with the great ocean of unknowns. The most enlightened and highest experience we humans can tap into is one that cannot be captured by the mind. Yet it reveals itself naturally and spontaneously when the mind is truly at rest and ease. Like the feeling we might get from a spontaneous breeze on a hot summer day. We soften our hearts, quiet our minds, and become deeply receptive. We can relax into it and deeply enjoy it. The head alone is not enough. It is too small of a container to take in the outrageous experience of enlightenment. The greatest experiences can only be absorbed with an open heart and soul. And when the mind is quiet, something inside us instantly aligns with this infinite spiritual essence that is inside everything and everyone. When we devote our life to quieting the mind and opening our heart to the divine source, we can feel, see, and know our real self. And what is our real self? It's that part of us that feels deeply intimately connected with everyone and everything thing. It is so vast that it also has room for the experience that we are small, powerless, separated beings stuck in small pools of individuated consciousness. Yet it is so much more. The real self is omnipresent, vast as the endless oceans, extremely bright, beautiful, and so powerful that it instantly consumes all the other versions we make up of what reality is. Now, some of us are just starting. Some of us are just, in this life, right? We're just starting to discover. Others have discovered and are embracing more and more. So it's like if you're a beginner on the spiritual path, it can be quite challenging to just choose to step out of your old self and into this experience of being one with the ocean, because everyone around you won't agree or understand what you're going through. We have learned to lean on society for an understanding of who and what we are. Collectively, we humans have spent the past 2,000 plus years attempting to reconnect with this oneness through religion, because we have completely forgotten that we are already permanently connected to the God source. We have spiritual amnesia caused by a societal mind that was buried under the illusion that we are like swine when in truth we are divine. Seeing through this great misunderstanding, we can be liberated from our collective consciousness. We can be free from all suffering, just like how the great masters have done through the ages. This collective awakening is part of the greater plan for our planet's spiritual evolution. As long as this belief in separation is the main way our society operates, we must each rebel against the norm if we are ever to find spiritual freedom. The belief system that we are not one being is the main reason why there is still war, poverty, environmental destruction on this planet. There still remains a belief that we are disconnected. This planet is always being projected, emanating from everybody's mind around us. What everybody believes we are most likely becomes what we believe is true as well. It's safe to say that every single person who we've met in life has been overly identified with this idea of a separate self, ego, and most likely will fight for upholding the belief in our separation until the very end. It takes a very clear mind, a courageous heart, and a determined soul to break free from the matrix of illusions the society is casting over our eyes. Observe the mind when thoughts come. Ask, who do these thoughts come to? Always watch, witness, and observe. Do not get caught in the thought. Just surrender. Robert Adams. To be free from societal programming, we must choose first to be free from our egos. For our egos to even exist at all, it must hold firm onto some belief in its separate nature. If it doesn't do this, it will feel very lost, confused, and afraid, and eventually give up. The ego must believe that it is a separate somebody rather than an omnipresent nobody. It's been trained to believe it is a drop of water and not the entire ocean as well. So this individuated approach to this life has a great payoff of creating a feeling of power, control, and direction in this life. Without the ego, we might believe that all our outcomes and manifestations show up because we are this universe, and the universe is making everything happen. Without the ego, we would only have a feeling of love, abundance, true empowerment, and real inner peace in this life. So the greatest truth can find it is going to be the one that liberates us from this limited, contracted mind ego. The truth that frees our spirit is the one that brings forth the deepest feeling of joy into the lives of everyone around us. This truth is found from intimately knowing our real self, our permanent, unbounded, infinite spiritual nature, only from exploring that it feels like, what it feels like, to be at one with the ocean of life. Can we be free? This exploration is what leads us to find full self-realization and true liberation in the end. I'd like you to do a radical experiment with your life right now. I invite you to relax into this idea and feeling that you are separate from this universe right now. Press deeply into the feeling that you are not at the core of the God source right now. Start with becoming very curious about this idea. Feel into what it actually means until you make friends with it. The goal here would be to let yourself completely melt into the feeling of separation and have zero resistance to it. With a little practice, you might discover what it's like to be connected within your experience of separation. The most healing, loving, magical, empowering source in this universe is in everything. So it's also in this experience of separation. The more we can relax into it, the more we open our hearts and quiet our minds to find that the experience of deep separation dissolves itself naturally on its own accord. Within the core of separation, we will discover the most profound, powerful, unstoppable, and intimate, direct connection to this pure channel of intelligent, conscious energy that breathes our very core. So just dive into the deepest root of all your problems. Faults, self-criticisms, and personal issues. These are where you feel the most separate and disturbed. Not wait until it's the right time to do it. Just relax into them every day, whenever and wherever you are. Make it the number one priority of your life to find this loving divine connection that is already here. Trust that it is already here. Even if you cannot find it right away. Act as if you are being held like a newborn baby in the most loving, caring mother's arms by simply resting into this feeling of separation. And you will make amazing progress on your spiritual path in a matter of minutes. You are the supreme being, and yet thinking yourself to be separate from it. You strive to become united with it. What is stranger than this, Ramon Rishi? Every one of us are the supreme being. But the majority of us are thinking ourselves to be separate from it. Isn't that something? When one begins their spiritual path, there is this feeling that who we are is more unreal than real. What I mean by this is that it can be shocking to discover that what we thought we were our entire lives is not real. That could be a shock to people. We truly have no clue as to who and what we really are. Look around you. You can see it. You can watch it. We are that which is beyond what the mind can understand. The mind doesn't understand that we are supreme beings, that we never die. It just doesn't know that. We are like the infinite edges of the most massive movie screen you can imagine, which has no end to the colorful creative possibilities it could contain. Our freedom comes from knowing our undefinable nature. When we realize that we are more like a blank, multidimensional creative canvas, and not all the scenes and stories from the grand film, something inside of us feels very fast and free. Sit back and take a good look at your life. Take an evening to investigate all the wonderful, horrific, typical, unusual, and peak states from your life. Notice if they sum up everything about who and what you are. Is there anything more than this? Ask yourself, what is my real self? Who am I? Without all these experiences, do I still exist without these memories? And if so, what exactly is that? Our real self is beyond the greatest mystery anyone could explore. We are much more amazing and magical than this separated mind ego. We are bigger than all the life experiences that are projected onto us and into us. We are also much more than the pure witness, awareness, and consciousness. We are the totality of it all. We are that which life gets to play, dance, sing, all of itself through. The separate, limited, suffering self is a comfortable habit, one that can be dropped by simply knowing how to stop identifying with it. You are neither consciousness nor its content. You are the timeless source, the supreme reality. Trust that, Nisargadatta. The discovery of the real self is a profound spiritual exploration for every one of us. The realization of who we truly are is a timeless experience that eventually becomes the death of our ego and the beginning of real freedom. Ironically, it is our deepest, innermost battle for freedom, our resistance to total surrender, that perpetuates the ego. When we stop fighting, we begin clearly seeing. The truth is revealed when there is no more need to push, pull, prove, or fight for anything. When we stop the struggle against what is, the ego's clouded existence drops, something greater enlightens our way. As long as we continue to pursue this life, thinking we are only a separate being, limited in power, love, abundance, and self-expression, we will get attached to goals thinking they will make us happy. Be very careful not to think that these limited ideas have anything to do with who you are. The concepts of ownership, my life, my body, my thoughts, my stuff, my reality, and my mind are the only thing perpetuating our human experiences of suffering. Drop these ideas and see what is left. Nothing is actually yours, and everything is yours when you realize your real self. There's no more need for the feeling of possession when you see that we are infinite spiritual beings, already intimately connected to everything. Why would we need to attain something when we already feel connected with it? Desires only form out of separation. When we sit and meditate on who we are, looking deep inside ourselves, eventually the mind will become quiet. When this occurs, we experience the truth that we are eternal beings filled with a great love, magic, and lightness. And by knowing this inside, we naturally start living it. We really don't have to be afraid of letting go and trusting our real self. The one source will move us, guide us, shape our minds to reconnect with the hearts and souls of everyone. Living from this space, we finally reach a sense of peace with everything in our lives. Every day we wake up and begin practicing being as vast and unlimited as the great infinite universe we are surrounded by playing an active role in this life, living out this realization in the sea of people around you. Then something dawns on you that you are truly free. When we see the world clearly, that everything is an expression of you, the real self, you stop hearing what you don't want to hear. You don't care to hear. You stop seeing what you don't care to see. And you stop feeling what you don't care to feel. Your mind is only fixated on the brilliant diamond of consciousness that it's found. We realize that this world is our mirror. Everyone is always reflecting back to us who we are. If we see an unhappy person, right? I think we've all seen that. That person is inside you. When you're truly enlightened, the experience of the divine awakening being begins showing up in everyone in the most interesting ways. We are in an ever-flowing river of gratitude all day long. So become courageous on this path. Take the risk to meditate. Quiet your mind all day long. Soon, you'll come to know that what it means to be self-realized. Sometime today, take about 15 minutes to do this exercise. Hold an intention to move down out of your head and relax into your heart. Your head will be sneaky and try to take over many, many, many times. Yet just bring your energy into your heart space. Imagine your heart is your favorite flower opening its petals to the great sun. Feel the light entering your heart. It is melting any walls you have inside around feeling loved. Now pick one person, your past, who you are not 100% at peace with. Let these warm walls around your heart melt away, merge with the heart of this person too. Feel the sunlight is also inside their heart. Let go of whatever the mind judges about them. The goal is to be 100% at peace with this person for the rest of your life. When you can do this successfully with one person, do it with everyone from your past. Take this on as an invitation to be at peace with everyone on this planet in the past and future. Practice this and imagine how that will be. Healing simply happens when we are deeply authentic and real with ourselves. Now, all of us wear masks. Most of us do. Some of us have discovered we don't care to have masks. We don't wear masks, which means different. You act a different way. You be a different way around different people. All right. But when you get to the point and you say to yourself, "I am who I am," and you are perfectly happy with that, you have no complaints whatsoever. I am who I am. All right? John Smith, Mary Johnson, you are who you are. That's it. It's kind of like you say, hey, they can take me or leave me because this is who I am. And you embrace that. So when we each stop repressing the truth of who we are and are open with how we are honestly feeling, our real self receives full permission to come out of hiding. Then it's easy to see the truth. We can easily stop being so invested in the opinions of others. We can no longer hesitate, recoil, and retreat in fear of another's disapproval. It's our choice. If we are ever free from the judger inside us, who is not okay with others, and they are, and you as well are. There exists a deeper, mature part which can accept everything inside us. We can stop trying to pretend that we are more adult-like than how we really feel inside. Some people feel like kids inside, but what do you think happens? Oh, no, I'm not going to. But that's what you feel good. You feel, hey, I'm a kid. I enjoy life. I like enjoying life, and that's what I'm here to do. Someone says, well, you're not taking life very seriously. It doesn't affect you. It really doesn't. And you have no animosity towards the one who delivers that. You just go, okay, fine. Merging is from the highest path a being can take. Moving into our most enlightened self comes from seeing that everyone is you in disguise. It's up to you to remember who you truly are. With enough meditation practice, there comes this realization that you are in me and I am in you. The divine real self that we all are is impossible not to see. We realize it is everywhere and has no actual boundaries. It is not terrified of intimacy with anyone. It loves letting go, shape-shifting and merging with everyone in this universe. It knows that if you cannot see God in all, you cannot see God at all. And it takes repetitiveness for us to absorb over and over and over again before you start picking up things, bracing them and bringing them within. And eventually, you do this, the gold will sink in and you'll naturally dive deeper within yourself and liberate yourself from the controlling, separating ego mind. Now, some of the greatest advice to you is this: be gentle with your exploration. Be compassionate with what you find. This life is the deepest mystery, and the more we can uncover who we are, the more we see that we have just scratched the surface, and there is so much more there is to be revealed. In the midst of winter, I found there was within me an invincible summer. Albert Camus. Your essence, your essential joy, is so huge that it flows in every direction. Namala. Many of us seek answers outside, don't we? And you have a question that's bugging you. You want an answer for the question about existence, whatever it may be. And we forget that the most important place we can turn for answers is inside ourselves. This outer world tends to captivate us, tantalize us, coerce us to lose our inner direction with its materialistic importance and superficial psychodramas. We can become emotionally captured by these experiences and feel completely disconnected from the safe, soothing resource of our inner world. The mind can become so involved in the external that we fall blind to the truth of the radiant, sacred being we actually truly are. Radiant, sacred beings. Radiant, glowing, illuminating. The most enlightened path to liberation is the one that is the most sustainable and always available from within. This approach has stopped the search in the outer world for real fulfillment and knows there is no source of true satisfaction than the one that exists within. I believe that it's the incessant searching of the mind which causes us not to see. We are not seeing the divine sacred beings we truly are because we are following the mind's perpetual wanting, yearning, and desiring habit. The more time we give for appreciating what is in our lives, accepting and loving the people who share our lives with us, the wanting program that had caused internal blindness slowly starts to fade out of our lives. As long as the mind is directed outwards, our energy continues to flow away from our center, away from deep inner peace and the stillness where all real, sustainable answers to life are found. The truly liberated being is the one who has chosen to give up the perpetual search for happiness out there and lives only at the source of their pure spiritual essence, which is always available within. When we turn our attention to the real source itself, the energetic blackboard behind our inner world, the essential roots of love, thought, creativity, become the real gold. When we discover the possibility of stopping the mind from its addiction to needing something outside itself to be satisfied, we discover the greatest world of freedom and empowerment has always been inside. When there is awareness, there is the potential for healing and spiritual freedom. In each moment, we can become aware where we are focusing our attention. Is it now on my inner world or my outer world? Eventually, with enough awareness, we see they are the same, and there is only one world. However, the mind is very conditioned and accustomed to perceiving a separation, focusing on the outer world for the capsules of manifestation and fulfillment. It doesn't care to take 100% responsibility for the uncomfortable feelings that can be hiding in its basement. When we bring more awareness to where the source of the mind is coming from, where our outer world is truly manifesting from inside ourselves, we slowly start to see we have total responsibility over the manifestations in our life. Total responsibility over the manifestations in our life. By not judging, but simply accepting what we find on the journey towards the source of all thought, we eventually discover how to relax into this divine responsibility, bathe in the light of our being. The source of our spiritual essence begins to take precedence over the mind. And we relax into a deeper life experience that is full of unlimited potentiality, freedom. Perhaps the most wonderful thing about this universe is that it is perpetually benevolent. It always gives us exactly what we need, especially when we don't realize what it is we truly need. If we are only directing our attention towards the outer world, we burn out, and this universe leads us to retreat back into our inner world to reboot. The body and mind are programmed to find balance, peace, and healing. At some point, the pendulum of this life will swing us back to stillness on its own accord. The stillness is the doorway to our ultimate creativity, God-given manifestation responsibility. This is the moment our spiritual journey begins, and the unfulfilling, never-ending path to satisfying the ego comes to an end. Be always feeling and reflecting on the real being. Be that. Cling close to it. Let your quest be constant and sustained until you catch the self and thereby find eternal happiness. Anna Marishi. I join you in the meditation. I will return to close us out. take an easy and slow breath in through the nose. Easy and slow breath out from the mouth. Remain still. Rest in the divine perfection of imperfection. Relax and breathe deeper. Let go of this efforting to change the way things are. There is a purpose and a place for everything. Yes, even though your mind strongly believes something is not perfect as it is today, give yourself permission to relax into the imperfection. Just let go and trust deeply in this universe. There are no mistakes. All appearances of imperfection are absolutely perfect. Take this with you for the rest of the day into the evening and night, the following morning. And we will return here Tuesday, December 26, 2023, 3:15 p.m. Eastern, to continue our global guided meditation call. We'll be having a time for change call this Wednesday night around 9 p.m. Eastern. Gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. Be in the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, and purest of the purest purest. Eternal gratitude at all times. No matter what's going on within you or outside of you.